Crashit. Activate Quantum Immortality.
My question is, with everything that you've experienced in life up to this point, if you could go back in time and tell your younger selves a life lesson that you've learned, what would you tell them?
Buy Bitcoin.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Saturday. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Having a look at Bitcoin, not really much has changed since yesterday. We're basically at the exact same level as yesterday's video. Now, having a look right here, you will notice that we did have that nice bounce off the CME futures gap. We got up all the way to around $8,247, and currently we are consolidating in the low 8,000s. Now, we have been able to maintain above 8,000. I do want to talk about something that Bitcoin is doing right now. We do appear to be consolidating. Will we remain above 8,000 is the question, but I am going to show you, in my opinion, my support, resistances, and the next major breakout that I'm looking for Bitcoin. So we are going to get into that as well. I also want to discuss altcoins and the fact that they've been doing actually quite well recently. So, is it alt season time? Well, I'm not too sure about that, but I do want to discuss why we've seen coins like Bitcoin SV, for example, well over 40% pumps. And I also want to discuss the relationship between gold and Bitcoin. It's been a hot topic recently. We have seen gold outperforming the S&P 500 essentially since March of last year. So the question is, are they actually related? Is Bitcoin a safe haven asset? Should you be holding some gold? We're going to get into all that today. And if that sounds good to you, oh yeah, and also some Bitcoin fundamentals that I got pretty excited for. But anyway, you know what to do. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, we do this every single day, even on weekends. And every Monday, we do give away a Ledger Nano S. You got to keep your crypto safe. Now, let's dive in. Let's have a look. Let's give this a quick refresh live. Bitcoin dominance around 68.1%. We did pull back about 0.9%. Now, the thing I want to point out right here is that you have seen over the past 7 days, a lot of altcoins are actually outperforming Bitcoin. You see, I actually pulled up the 7-day percent right here. Now, Bitcoin is up about 9.3%, but look at some of these other gainers. XRP, 9.4, Bitcoin Cash, 18, Litecoin, 15, EOS, 12, Bitcoin SV, 47, right? Lots of altcoins doing quite well. So what does this mean? We're going to get into all that. And finally, we do have some beautiful, beautiful volume, well over $1 billion. I will take it. However, crypto fear and greed index, putting in that neutral again, guys, okay? Last time we saw the neutral, we did have that sell-off. Now, having a look at what is going on with the CME futures chart, you guys already know about the gap. We spoke about it yesterday. The gap technically did not close. I am not going to go into that again today. We've talked about this gap too many damn times. However, you can see if we sort of come from the bottom here to where we had this wick, there is some room for Bitcoin to sort of pull back down and, actually follow back on this trend, which I would probably expect it to have that consolidation. Also, just note that it is the weekend, and we did have a close at $8,125. So regardless, whatever happens with the price over the weekend, we're probably going to try to meet that price again, come Monday when we do have the markets open again. Now, having a look, we have been rejected twice by this downtrend. This is sort of the top of the wedge that we've been in for quite some time, basically over 6 months now. Now, we are holding above the $7,860 level. The significance of this is where we peaked out back here on November 29th. And then we just sort of put in lower highs. We did break above that. So currently, what I think we're forming is a bit of a consolidation. Now, obviously, we don't really have two confirmations on the bottom just yet. We do have two on the top. So if I had to, sort of just guess what we're doing, and keep in mind, this is just my opinion, it does look like we're probably going to consolidate in some kind of a triangle pattern. It may not be shaped exactly like this. We do have to wait for the next touchdown to the bottom. If we do fall out of this range, then I would assume that we would ride on top of the neckline before the head and shoulders breakout, which would be right here, which means, you could see Bitcoin ride around that $7,500 level, $7,400 level possibly. And that would still be good for Bitcoin, potentially. And then obviously if we have the breakout, well, then you guys know I was looking at a possibility of a $9,800 Bitcoin. But of course, we do have to have the breakout, which according to this is looking like it wants to do it more around the end of January, beginning of February, right? having a look over here, this is my like magic zone I really want to get up to. I want to get above the $9,387 level, and you could see that that's essentially where I believe this trend would be reversed, okay? And like I said, if we do keep consolidating inside of this descending wedge, I would hope to be supported by either this trend where we put in the higher low, or this legacy trend that started all the way back here in February of the beginning of the year that held us up right before the massive blast off in April. And you could see if we were to fall down to some of these levels, like I said, 7,000 even would still be, in my opinion, okay. That would be okay for Bitcoin, as long as we don't put in any more lower lows. I don't want to put in any more lower lows, because then, unfortunately, we may be going a lot lower than 6,400, but no need to get bearish just yet, guys. Now, I want to talk about what Mac and BT said. He said, in my opinion, Bitcoin is range bound between 8,520 and 7,500 for the next 35 to 70 days. I kind of do agree with that. That's sort of the consolidation we were looking at, right? He says bottom is in scenario. If bottom really is in, altcoins will see some last minute exit pumps. Are we not seeing the altcoins pumping right now? He says Bitcoin pumps out of a range with a fat candle and alts dump to hell. The next 2 to 3 weeks will tell us everything. I'm getting a phone call right now, guys. I'm getting a phone call, excuse me. So guys, I got an Apple Watch for Christmas, and I thought that if I muted my phone, the watch would be off, but it was Sirius XM. I don't know what they wanted. Anyway, back to the video. So yeah, I mean, you can see we've been having some pumps. I mean, look at what Bitcoin SV did. This is absolutely crazy. Now, we are going to get into that in just a bit, but that being said, what's worse than Bitcoin SV pumping? I don't know, maybe this nano ad? Who made this? My 5-year-old cousin? Anyway, that being said, moving on. So yes, I could see that potential boring consolidation. We were talking about this as far as, leading up to the halving, that we are basically inside of this major sort of, triangle. And yeah, we could go up to about 9,800, could fall down to even, 6,700. It's possible. But as long as we stay within this range, we stay range bound, then really Bitcoin's just doing what it's going to do, which is just kind of hang out inside of this area, right? But really what I wanted to talk about today was Bitcoin becoming a digital gold, right? A store of value. Is it really digital gold? Does it correlate with gold, right? Well, we could see right here that there was a study actually that came out. This has been floating around, and researchers found that the correlation between Bitcoin and gold has been between 0 and 0.3. Okay, since 2013, meaning that there is little to no correlation between the two. In other words, any similarities between the two assets' performance in the past have been coincidental at best. But I know what you're saying. Didn't Masari just put this out? And they were basically saying, look, you had the assassination, we had the pump. Trump tweeted about the strike back if prompted. They had the missile strikes, we pumped. Then, Trump expressed a desire to de-escalate the situation and we dumped, right? It all looks like it's playing out. Well, we've had some jokers out there that are saying, listen, we can basically correlate anything, with coincidences if we try hard enough, right? Now, take this with a grain of salt, but you can see somebody made a joke, Bitcoin and the British royal family. So down here, you have Harry and Meghan helped a couple while on a hike. Meghan and Harry encouraged fans to donate to Australia's wildfire relief. Locals helped Prince Harry, and then Harry and Meghan are stepping back from the royal family. Maybe that could have been the dump, right? Now, most likely it was in relation to what was happening, with the conflict. But just to point it out there, a lot of these things are based on technicals. We do hit technicals, then news stories come out, and then we try to justify why things are happening. We had the President Xi pump, right? 43%, but that also was the bottom where we touched the 200 daily. So, like I said, show me the chart, I'll tell you the news, right? That's what Savvy says. But anyway, I want to talk about what Preston is saying over here. So he was talking about gold has been outperforming the S&P 500, right, since March. He says, I expect that trend to persist moving forward, but I think Bitcoin will way outperform gold. Bonds are a disaster. They are all denominated in fiat. Good luck with that long term. Now you can see down here, someone says, I agree with you. Why does gold and Bitcoin community fight so much? And he just says, let's just say gold has been waiting for this moment so long, cue the Phil Collins song, that, wouldn't you be a little bit pissed if some emerging technology just swooped in and took a piece of the pie, right? Now, he does reference the stock market, saying that in fiat terms, of course the stock markets are going to go up, right? We just talked about the injections that are happening basically every other day, right? But in gold terms, it will be flat. And he says in Bitcoin terms, well, forget about it. It's going to get annihilated. In other words, Bitcoin is looking to absolutely outperform all of these right now. And guys, if you have not seen this Peter Schiff video, I retweeted it from the Crypto Bowl. It's 35 seconds long, and essentially it took place in June of 2011, and it goes to show you, had you put $10,000 in Bitcoin versus $10,000 in gold, what would you have today? And if you haven't already seen this video, I'm just going to play it super quick for you guys, and then I want to continue our discussion.
If I'm gonna put my wealth, if I'm gonna take $10,000 and store them in Bitcoins, how do I know that a year or two from now, anybody is going to accept them for anything? What if it's a fad and nobody wants them? See, the thing with gold is gold has value all by itself. If I don't have to be able to spend it. I can melt it down. I can make it into jewelry. I can use it in electronics. It has all sorts of properties that make gold intrinsically value all by itself, right? It doesn't have to be traded for another product. It can be used.
So long story short, had you put $10,000 in Bitcoin at the time of him making this speech, you would now have $4.1 million worth of Bitcoin, whereas you would only have $9,854 worth of gold. In fact, you could see this is about where Peter Schiff put the, video out, the speech out. So essentially, yes, gold did have a nice little run up, to about $1,900 after that. But then it followed many years of just sort of a really bad decline, and only just recently has started to have this pump where it did reach upwards back around $1,600. So, basically, you could see these guys have been waiting for quite a long time, and then to sort of just have Bitcoin be like, hey guys, I'm the best store of value ever, of course, there are going to be haters, right? There's going to be haters. Now, the one thing I want to point out is in the past 30 days alone, you can see Bitcoin is actually at an all-time high, well, as of January 8th, for searches in the United States, and I believe it has gone up globally as well, with the top states being Nevada, California, Hawaii, Utah, and Colorado. So, not sure why Nevada's so excited about Bitcoin. Maybe you're from Nevada. Maybe something's going on over there I don't know about. But that being said, well, Las Vegas, right? Gambling, I guess kind of that might be correlated. But anyway, moving on, having a look, you can see that about 10.7 million Bitcoins, that's a lot of Bitcoin considering, that there's only about 18.14 million in circulation, have essentially not moved, okay? So this means that the percentage of Bitcoins lying dormant for over a year is at its highest level since 2017. So what can we extrapolate from this data? Well, maybe some people just bought too high, right? And they're holding, but that's not the case because you're noticing a lot of these are in these gigantic whale wallets, okay? And not even just exchanges. So these guys, these big Bitcoin whales, they're not selling right now. Okay, there might be some trading happening, but ultimately they are holding. And you got to admit, we laugh at these prices. We laugh at these crazy predictions, right? 100K, 250, $1 million for a Bitcoin. But you have to ask yourself, let's just say in a crazy futuristic situation, Bitcoin did hit $1 million. Let's just say it did. Wouldn't you want to hold at least one? And I always say to everybody, try to hold at least one Bitcoin, not financial advice, but it's kind of, but it's not, but that I would want you to hold a Bitcoin. But anyway, that being said, Tom Lee, Permable, well, we do have a forthcoming 2020 crypto outlook from Fundstrat Global Advisors, and they believe that the halving is not priced in. The report is currently only available to the firm's clients. Well, and of course, to all of us because it's been leaked. But for 2020, they say we see several positive convergences that enhance the use case and also the economic model for crypto and Bitcoin. Thus, we believe Bitcoin and crypto total returns should exceed that of 2019. Now, 2019, I think we ended on, I don't remember the actual number, 95%? Gains or something like that. So they're saying that they are looking to see over 100% gains in 2020. And given that the current price is around $8,000, well, then by default, they would be expecting around a $16,000 Bitcoin. Although I personally think we're going to break the all-time high this year. Just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. I'm just a guy on the internet. But that being said, moving on, I do want to talk about the bot from Tokenalysis that picked up a massive $39 million Bitcoin inflow into Poloniex from an unknown address. Now, this is incredible considering that typical inflows are only around $2 million to $3 million. So yeah, this is a lot bigger than usual. So is this some big whales looking to dump or something like that? Well, let's not get too crazy. It's probably just some reshuffling and things of that nature. You can see that occasionally they do add liquidity sometimes when they're moving around altcoins. I don't know what these exchanges do in the background, but could it be an incoming dump? It's always a possibility, but I'm going to lean towards maybe not until we have a little bit more data, but I just wanted to bring that up. But you could see right here, someone is currently pushing a lot of invalid large transactions on Tether for unknown reasons, and Whale Alert is saying that unfortunately their checks were not able to pick all of them up. And down here, Tom Kras says if you wanted to pump the entire market with Tether to halt the Bitcoin SV pump, it would make sense to issue large invalid transactions to mess up the data sets of analysts who could determine that's exactly what you were doing. That's an interesting theory. I'm not too sure about that one, but why is Bitcoin SV pumping? Well, essentially, if you guys missed out on the news, yesterday, Craig Wright revealed that he had a third Tulip Trust, okay, which is a trust that purportedly has access to billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Now, if it has access to Bitcoin and it was around before the forks, then he obviously has all of the forks in the Bitcoin, right? He has Bitcoin Cash. Clearly, he has Bitcoin SV. Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin Gold, probably got all the forks, right? So the idea with the Bitcoin forks surging on the news is that if Craig Wright does actually have all of these funds, then people are speculating that Craig Wright will then dump his massive, Bitcoin, regular Bitcoin on the market to suppress essentially, the price of Bitcoin. Now, the thing is do you even care if he dumps it? Let him dump it. Get rid of the Bitcoin. I'll buy it for cheap from you, Craig. If you don't want your Bitcoin, you can keep your Bitcoin SV all you want, right? But they say that it is a lot of speculation and they're not really sure. Now, keep in mind, Craig Wright also came out and said that Bitcoin's chain had a fatal flaw and that it would be dead by this year. Well, it's January, guys, and Bitcoin's still here. So obviously, a guy that runs around and claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, you really can't take everything too seriously. But moving on, they did delist USDC coin on Binance. I forgot to mention this a couple days ago. They say nothing personal, just super low liquidity. No one's trading it. So that's another thing too. We saw over 50 plus stable coins come out, just recently. And I mean, what are we going to, not everyone's going to use them all, right? Most people still, unfortunately, just use Tether. It's just a fact, right? I mean, whether or not we agree with them, most people are still just using Tether. Moving on, though, the U.S., the largest bank, says that interest in CME Group's new Bitcoin options are very high, and they're going to be launching on Monday. So things could get a little bit interesting. Keep in mind, these don't involve holding the underlying asset, so what are you going to do? But in a note on January 10th, quoted by Bloomberg, a group of analysts at JP Morgan said that the interest is very high. Essentially, they say this unusually strong activity over the past few days likely reflects the high anticipation among market participants of the option contract. So granted, this isn't, Satoshi's vision, it doesn't involve actually owning the Bitcoin, but it does show that there is a high level of interest in at least minimally Bitcoin trading. I know, even if it is cash settled, right? And on one final note, Toronto-based startup Convergence Tech has successfully concluded a blockchain-based pilot to help Mongolian nomadic herders track and certify sustainable cashmere. Yes, guys, you heard it. The supply chain project, which has conducted with the United Nations Development Program, is powered by Convergence Tech, which is Ethereum based. It is a traceability platform and it is called Backbone. So there you go. Blockchain in the real world, guys. So that is it for me today. Let's have a quick look before we go. Still just consolidating in the range. So let me know what you guys think about Bitcoin. The CME gap, did we actually close it? Do we have to go lower? Is this the full-on reversal? Do you think we're just going to consolidate sideways until the halving? Well, let me know. That's up to you guys. I mean, long term, we know where this thing is going. Short term could get a little bit crazy. But that being said, hope you enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for coming back. Make sure you turn on the bell notification. YouTube likes to turn it off for some reason. I don't know why it does that. If you haven't joined the Telegram group, you can check right here. It's absolutely free. And of course, any comment on any video throughout the week makes you eligible for the ledger. And that is it for me today. Enjoy your freaking weekend. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.